But is a warning, 3 rays is distorted. No, hesitating, but clarifying soul. I'm breathless, just so you know. I'm empty in the overflow. I'm too wide, but too below. I'm somewhere in the great unknown. I'm breathless, just so you know. I'm empty in the overflow. I'm too wide to let you know. I'm somewhere in the great unknown. I'm breathless, just so you know. I'm empty in the overflow. I'm too wide, too below. I'm somewhere in the great unknown. I'm breathless, just so you know. I'm empty in the overflow.
Yo. Yusuf, Igor, what's up, brothers? Welcome, everybody. I'm sure people are just joining. Hope you all been well. If you guys remembered, like the video. If you can, so pretty please. Money Glitch, what's up? Igor, appreciate the private member. I honestly don't know what that does. I'm still getting used to all this live streaming stuff again. Let me know in the comments, how does the screen look? Does it look alright? Can you see it? Can you hear me? Should I turn up the volume, not turn it up, lower, higher? Crazy Eddie, what's up, brother? CJTRADES 5x5, thank you. TOK, thank you. Okay, cool. I don't have a camera on. I don't know if I really feel like doing it this time around. We'll see. Just kind of still feel like it's necessary. As you can see on the screen here, you probably see, hopefully it's not too much in the way, but I have to put it on there so people understand what the hell I'm doing. That is MetaTrader. If you guys don't know, that's not futures, it's CFDs, but it's FTMO. I've talked about this in the Discord a little bit ago. Apologies, I was trying to kind of get everything set up and feel mentally ready to do this, but long story short, I'm going through an FTMO challenge. The whole point of all this is just to trade and learn, and it's really, I put that on the screen so you guys don't wonder what the hell I'm doing. Well, I also look at NQ. Money glitch switched to gold. I don't know. I've had a fantastic run with gold this year. Fantastic. Probably switched over in June. I just broke up with NQ. I've had a fantastic run with gold. And if you've been following me for a long time, I suggest you look at it as well. It's got some fantastic price runs in it. I think it's a lot more gentle than NQ. Not to say that NQ hasn't had some great moves. Um, it has, and I know it probably is going to be a huge thing with everybody in the chat. You know, everybody trades NQ. Um, I just suggest looking at it. If you've been following me a long time, you trust me, I would suggest looking at it. I think it can provide some really great movements. I'm sure if you looked at the Telegram, um, a lot of you probably were like, "What? Why am I trading gold?" It's just because I've had such a fantastic time with it. And it's okay to switch asset classes. It's okay to look at a bunch of different asset classes. I can look at NQ for all of you who are looking at it, but it's very difficult to be able to trade NQ or gold or whatever. Look at multiple asset classes on a 1-minute chart. It's almost basically impossible. I gotta get rid of that Nightbot thing. How do I remove that? Hide user in this channel. I'll just do that. So I just want to make sure everything's good. If you guys can like the video, I'd appreciate it. I'm sure this is going to be a really long staircase back to anything as far as viewership, so I'm not expecting anything. Really, to me, it's just like chilling in the Discord. And I'm not really expecting anything out of this whole live stream thing. I'm just kind of here just to do it for fun. And we'll just see how it all turns out in a couple months. So let's go ahead and take a look at gold. Again, if you're not interested in it, then you're probably not going to enjoy the live streams. To be honest with you, I don't really know. But this is what I would suggest looking at because I have fun doing it. You don't have to. Let me go over to this chart because that's going to have all the annotations. This is the daily time frame on gold. Even we'll go out to the weekly. We've had a huge parabolic run in it. I can say this wasn't the most fun to trade, but there were some fun moments. And ironically, I had one of the best months, or best few months of this year inside of this consolidation in here. All throughout June, July, August, I was killing it on gold in here. It's just because even on lower time frames, NQ can be really heavily manipulated to me, and I couldn't stand the ranges that NQ was just staying in on lower time frames. So I switched to a different asset class, and here we are. And I haven't really gotten away from gold. So if you look at gold on a weekly chart, we've gotten down into these inefficiencies here. Retraced back up into this volume imbalance right there. So it's hard to really say. I annotated this in the Telegram as well, where this wick should be split into quadrants, so that 25 or 75% level could act as some type of area of interest. Whether we want to decline from here is the question. Whether, since we've had such a huge run from this low to that high, since we've had this huge run here, do we have some type of retracement lower into a deeper discount, or do we expand away from these inefficiencies into all-time highs again? Again, I don't know that answer to the question, but these are things you need to be just suggesting to yourself and looking at as potential ideas. But as of now, we've opened this week already and moved a lot. We moved more than we did all of last week in literally 12 hours, which is funny. But we opened immediately, ran up into this volume imbalance on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, this SIBI was holding price with this inversion here. And we traded right up into this new week opening gap, which if you take that away is a volume imbalance, same as a weekly, right? So we traded up into that so far. Living in your purpose, do you use silver for SMT when trading gold? Yes, I do. So I can show that on a chart, but yes, I use silver as S&P as well. So very much similar if you're trading NASDAQ, if you're using ES slash Dow. For S&P, you can use silver. So it's very much the same. Everything's always the same. Again, the market's always time first, then price. If you trade ICT, you always know that. It's all the same shit. I just have been enjoying gold, so don't look at it as any different. It's all the same. It may just take a second to get used to the feed and kind of, the delivery of it sometimes. Gold's a little bit slower than NQ. NQ is very rapid. It likes to move very, very quickly. That could be a pro or con. Doesn't really matter. Gold's a little bit slower at times. So we'll see from here if price wants to reject away from it. My idea is, well, since the open of the week, we've immediately have ran higher. We haven't gone beneath even the underneath the new week opening gap. We haven't gone beneath it. We haven't had any sort of retracement since really the jump of yesterday. So we'll see how this morning plays out. If you look at the Telegram, which I should link somewhere, I'm sure there's not many people besides the Discord people in here right now, but I can link the Telegram. That way I'll just report some things after the session and some charts. But I was annotating a couple buy-side liquidity pools that I wanted to see taken out, and it happened a lot quicker than I thought. So we had those taken. If you look a little bit higher on gold, this buy-side liquidity pool right here seems like we could get some draw towards if it wants to. We generated a lot of sell side last week and the week prior. We were stuck kind of in a range. So if we want to, let's say, continue lower, I honestly wouldn't want to see price get up above this new week opening gap. If we get up above the previous new week opening gap, then obviously this buy side liquidity pool with this inefficiency is where I'd want price to trade, towards. So if we get up above, use it as, let's say, support, then we'd want to see that buy side liquidity traded towards. As far as today, so far we're having a reaction away from the CE of that, and whether we want a retracement to go higher or if we see complete collapse lower towards the sell side throughout the week, that could be a potential idea. So it's only Monday. We don't have any news event drivers today. We don't have any news event drivers towards, I believe, towards the end of the week, which would be CPI. So it makes it interesting. Again, if you look at the Telegram, I was annotating a couple buy-side liquidity pools that could be drawn towards, and we already completed that. So that was my initial kind of stance for the week, and it did it right off the bat. So I kind of have to not necessarily sit still this session, but trying to gather what price would want to do from here. I wanted to annotate this inefficiency here. If you extend that out to your right, you can use that as an inversion. I'm not completely sold on a direction just yet, so it's just something I want to keep in mind. Again, anytime, if you look at this green line, that's this current new week opening gap, right inside of last week's new week opening gap. But right from there last night, I mean, we just immediately ran higher. So I can't tell, particularly at this moment, if we want to decline from here and run lower, whether this is going to be a retracement to go higher. These are all things that we have to wait for. If you've been with me for a while now, you know the motto is let time do the work for you. So there's no reason to really force an idea when you can just wait for price to give you the information you need. Buy side liquidity pool, relative equal highs resting here. What else is there? There is some sell side resting down here, right above. I would say these are kind of the external sell side, and obviously the stealing range low sell side. But mainly we'd be looking at this with these here. So hopefully, does that make sense to everybody? Does that give you a decent breakdown of gold? I think looking at it with time, you'll kind of gain a little bit better clarity and perspective of it. And obviously, if you're having a great time with whatever asset class you're trading, it doesn't mean you have to trade this. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. This is all just for educational purposes and to make you a better trader overall. Let's look at a 1 minute chart here. So we're about 6 minutes or 5 minutes out from the open. And we'll see what the opening range gap is going to be, just because I know where we closed last week, but from basically where we're at now down to here, that's going to be an opening range gap that's sitting beneath price. So we're going to have a large opening range gap that's beneath price currently. And we'll see if we want to maybe trade into 25% of it. So far this year, I know I've been gone for a while now. I've adjusted a few things to my trading. I've adjusted the way I trade. So not by a whole lot, but there are some things I do a little bit differently, and you guys will see that over time. Is everybody still here with me? I know not everybody's going to be talking, but I just want to make sure. Nice to hear you. Thank you. If we look at, let's say 4/16 at night, we ran a sell side liquidity pool here. So I don't know how aggressive I'd want to go into the open as far as shorting it. We've already started a decline. Again, I'm just going to have to wait and see what price is giving me. But if we do want to go lower, this low here from about 6 o'clock would be the first draw on liquidity. Potentially that low and into deeper kind of higher time frame inefficiencies, such as like the 5 minute, 15 minute, things like that. As far as live streaming, I want to be able to do simultaneously. I want to try to do a vertical stream as well while I'm doing horizontal. Excuse the voice crack. If anybody knows how to do that, that'd be much appreciated. The fact that we already ran this low here and how much we've been delivering higher does make me hesitant to potentially want to short this. But we'll have to see how we open. And again, time's very important. We want to wait for, sometimes the adjustments I've made is maybe I'm willing to trade right off the open. I've made an adjustment there where if there is a setup and a clear draw on liquidity, clear model, the first, even before the open, I'd be willing to enter at times. Again, it's very discretionary. It's very hard to put into words as far as why I would certainly, take a trade before the open or right at the open. Those are things I think over time that you'll be able to discover for yourself. But that's one adjustment I've made, and everything else is the same. Really waiting for the macro at 950, seeing if anything's fruitful there. If there is anything fruitful there, then I'm waiting after the 10 o'clock close and going into the 1050 macro things is that. But really, 9:30 to 11 o'clock is the time window we're looking at, an hour and a half. If anything doesn't show up, then you move on with the day. There is nothing else to really say about it. Let me play some music for myself. I think that's one thing I'm missing here. If you guys can like the video, I know there's not a whole bunch of you guys in here, but I would appreciate it. So let's go ahead and toggle over to regular trading hours. And we're going to see here in a second that open up. So we have a very large opening range gap. So it's from the open of that candlestick to the close of this one of last week. I want to move this over. Again, you're not expecting this whole thing to be filled. I put a fib setting on here to where I can split it into quadrants. So you have 25, 50, 75% levels on here. And if you have something like this where, let's say you're extremely bullish for the day, but you see the opening range gap as such and maybe some internal sell side, all you'd want to see is maybe that sell side liquidity pool ran and price traded about 25% of that opening range gap. There is a sell side imbalance right here that we've reacted off of. And I'm sure a lot of you are trading NQ, so you don't particularly care. But all I know with NQ, opening range gap, or the new week opening gap, sorry, it's beneath price and we have yet to even fill it in. I know I only got into about 50% of it, so maybe look for that as a draw on liquidity this week on NQ. Silver has gotten beneath this low here, so that is a slight bullish SMT. Hey CJ, good to see you back. Hope all is well. Thank you. Everything is good. Hope you're good as well. Let's see if price can trade towards 40.83. And this is what I was just talking about. This is not a bad trade before the open here. Again, it's very difficult. I don't beat myself up too much not trading before the open. It can be difficult to trust price, especially on a Monday, trading before the open. But there are times that I am comfortable doing it. But overall, I really like to wait for the macro, and waiting for the silver bullet is the best option. and we'll see how the first presented reacts. So this could potentially be the first presented. This candle has yet to close. So we've taken out this sell side, and we'll see if we want to attack potentially 40.79. Remember, if we are bullish, you do want to run on sell stops first, and as we were talking about the opening range gap, maybe a run into 25% of it. Ethiopia, hi CJ, nice to hear from you. Thank you. It's good to be back. Did you stop trading NQ? Yes, I did. So I know that may upset a lot of you. Again, I'm just here for educational purposes. That's it. Everything still works the same everywhere, across every single market. So. So this is your first presented here, this inefficiency here. There's a couple good indicators for it. I found this one to be the best, ICT first presented, because that actually annotates the correct ones. Is there any particular reason you stopped trading NQ? Yeah, I was just having a very difficult time with it during probably summer months in May and April, and from there I just kind of broke up with it. I was tired of the ranges that I was being put in on NQ. I was tired of trying to trade it, and that doesn't mean that I'll never go back to it. Even recently, NQ's had some even better moves than gold. But it is difficult for me to switch on and off between the two, especially if I'm not in sync with it. But I just got tired of trading NQ, to be honest with you. And I found some really, really fantastic runs and had some great success with gold, so I really haven't moved away from it. I don't think one's better than the other, but if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like the video, I appreciate it. So what I'm kind of watching for in waiting for is I'm seeing how we've ran underneath this low here, and I want to see whether this is a run on sell stops to potentially run higher again, or this is a continuation potentially into this low and even into even deeper kind of a discount. If you're not particularly sure, the best thing to do is just wait for time. Time's going to give you the best answer. How many viewers we got? 28. Yeah, it's going to take a long time to ever build back, but it's not about the viewership, it's about the quality. That's what they say. There's been a lot of you have been asking for me to come back, though. So I'm sure it's going to be it's going to be a lot longer as far as I did last time. I'm probably going to have to live stream at least 6 months to be back to where I was at, which is fine. We can take a look at NQ while we're sitting here. Oh, NQ. We are inside of a massive previous new week opening gap. I couldn't even tell you what the daily chart really even looks like, or the weekly. Still near all-time highs on NQ. As far as structure goes on a daily or weekly, I would still have the underlying narrative as higher prices from this dealing range low to high here. If you paid attention to ICT, I was looking at a little bit of his telegram. Throughout NQ, he was using a lot of grading of wicks, and using that, especially at all-time highs, to kind of gain clarity. So, especially on the daily chart, grading a lot of wicks are very important. You always want to pick kind of, to me and what I gathered from him, kind of the lowest wicks in dealing ranges. But this one in particular, we kind of almost got down into 25% of it. So if you don't have a lot of inefficiencies to work with, if you don't have a lot of things to work with, then those daily time frame wicks can provide clarity on lower time frames. But NQ, we've ran out this internal sell side here on Friday, and since then we moved away from it. Opening range moved away from that as well. Our new week opening gap, keep going opening range, but the new week opening gap, we got into about, let's say 50% of it, and since then we've expanded away from it. Again, it's only a Monday. You don't have to rush everything on a Monday morning. That's what everybody's trying to do. But it looks like from opening bell and on Q today, we've just immediately ran higher. Really not much to annotate there. There's a lot of sell side here, but that's the thing with NQs. How it gets there, or if it does get there, is a whole different game. I have no idea. NQ is just really wicked, man. To me, my comparison, if you're wondering, is like NQ's like trying to play a video game on difficulty of like, there's different levels. You have beginner, advanced, expert. There's no reason for me to play a game that's already hard at a higher level. That's how I found gold. Is like, well, to me, I obviously already know how to trade. The delivery is easier. It's easier to read price. It's easier to know when to stay out of moves. To me, there's not as much, I would say, manipulation towards it. It can get into really high resistance profiles where it's, not really moving. It's very sluggish. But to me, I would rather be a part of that, or at least see it and not trade it. NQ to me is like, there's a lot of clear models, but you're either constantly stopped out, you're constantly just wicked moves. And this is just me saying this. This could be a completely different story for you, but that's how I found it. I've had a lot of success with NQ. Don't get me wrong, but it's just it's very, very difficult to trade, and I don't need to make trading harder for myself. There's no reason. It's already fucking hard as it is. So I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you. Maybe not. I'm sure I'm going to convert a lot of you over to gold. How long have I been trading gold? I would say since probably June. End of May of this year to June was when I started. I just officially had enough of NQ and I said, fuck, I'm going to something else. Money glitch for me, gold is very hard to trade. And see, I mean, everybody has their different perspectives of it. And again, trading's very personalized. It's all how you perceive these things on a computer screen. It's whatever makes you tick, right? So that's number one as far as psychology. Whatever makes you successful, you have to find that for yourself. Fly, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. It's funny, you'll see like certain names that have a lot of you are still here, but there's certain names that probably have they stopped trading. Like you'll literally just see people just drop off the face of the earth, which I think a lot of people thought about me, but some people literally just stop. What's your bias for gold today? It's a good question. I don't know. In the beginning of the stream, I was discussing some potential ideas and potential things. Overall, if you go out to the daily chart, I think we could potentially see higher prices out of it. So far we've ran out this low here. So before the open, we ran right up into the CE of the new week opening gap. We dropped lower. We took out the sell side liquidity pool. We dropped into, let's say, 30% of the opening range gap. So we could potentially see a model in here forming. Do I want to pick out this very low of it? No. Meaning this could be a breaker, right? If we get up and then expand, that's where I'd be looking at. This is what I'd be looking at. And we drop into the first presented inefficiency here. Now overall, what's the first thing or first rule is time. So right about now we're getting into almost 950, which doesn't mean right when 950 hits I'm going to start trading. It just means I could be looking at a potential trade idea. If nothing is fruitful in here, then I won't do anything with it. So we're dropping down into the first presented. I want to see if we obviously break beneath this first presented, then I'm going to aim and see if price wants to get to 40.79. If we utilize this first presented and we gravitate higher, and we make our way towards this sell side imbalance or even close above it, then we have a bullish breaker, and that kind of solidifies me to at least look for higher prices. And I don't know how high gold would want to go today. But mainly, if I'm trading gold, I'm on a strict almost 2R basis. Like if I'm taking something, I'm looking for 2R, meaning whatever I'm risking, I'm looking for double of that, and I don't really care if it can go beyond that. It's really all I care about. I found great success with it, and I don't really need to hold off for any more. Nice to see you back, CJ. I don't know if I said that already, but thank you. Look at the 5-minute on gold here. We have a bearish order block here that we've gotten up into with a SIBI in it. Have you studied the 2024 mentorship? I honestly don't even know. Maybe. I haven't really paid attention to ICT, and I mean, I'll look at some of the stuff he posts, but I would say no, I haven't. Thank you for sharing your analysis. It sure is great to have you back when you'll be live streaming next. I will be here all week at the same time. Fly, exactly why I stopped trading NQ. ES only, much cleaner, less wicking, more respective FPGs. Yep. I would completely agree, Fly. ES is a little bit slower. Again, NQ is very wild. It has some really great movements, and it moves a whole bunch, and you can find a whole bunch of setups, but it comes, you know, with its cons, of course, and negatives. So I like gold just because it's much slower to me. Some people it took a little bit of adjusting to get used to, because NQ's like, you're so used to such wild movements all the time, but gold's a little bit slower, and I'm comfortable with it. It's just, to me, again, I don't need to make trading harder for myself. Catch you tomorrow. Gotta go. Safe trading. Thank you, brother. See you tomorrow. As far as gold, the one I'm trying to process in here is did we run out this low in here to run higher, or on the 5-minute chart, is this just simply, or even on the 1-minute chart, is this just a continuation to go lower? So if you're just looking at this as simple market structure, this is what I would have in my model number 3. Nothing's ever changed. If you've been with me for a while, this would be model number 3, is just a continuation model. The price gets up into a premium and wants to expand lower. So the fact that I don't really have clarity personally, we're inside of the macro, which is cool, but higher time frame is bullish, so I kind of have to submit to that currently. And I'm waiting to see if we get into that 10 o'clock hour, if this whole setup turns into some type of bullish breaker. If we get underneath the first presented and kind of utilize that as an inversion, or utilize that as a, you would really utilize that as a reclaimed sell side imbalance. If price gets underneath, utilizes it, that would be a reclaimed, really SIBI, which is your first presented. Otherwise, right now, we haven't closed beneath it. This could be your run underneath sell side here, and this turns it into higher prices, and then this whole pattern would be your bullish breaker. So kind of just waiting for evidence to kind of give me the head nod. Potential run to the London session low. Could be. I don't disagree with it. There are some relative equal lows resting here, but we have ran out the sell side at this low. So if you look at silver, again, we utilize silver as your SMT. Silver, and I'll have to switch over to it so you guys see it, because I know none of you are going to do it. Silver here is your SMT correlation between the two. Silver got underneath at least a lot deeper run, but if you look at your 4 o'clock hour on gold, this 4 a.m., silver has a much deeper run. So it made a lower low while NQ failed to make it. So something's kind of, I do like the way gold's moving currently. Again, this is prepping before anything even appears. There's an inefficiency here. For me, it doesn't have to make the breaker. It doesn't have to make this in order for me to long it. I can trade before the breaker is even made. Is that the highest probability thing to do? Not necessarily, because sometimes this could just be another run taking out buy side then to drop lower. But we'll see if we want to get up above this high here and above this sell side imbalance, and that would be truly a bullish breaker. And that would kind of solidify at least a higher run. How much of the core content material do you apply to your charts, be it daily or intraday? Man, that's such a good question. Probably all of it. To be honest with you, I think all of it. This inefficiency here. Didn't quite get down into it. Only thing is we're about to turn the hour, so I want to see how we react when we open the next hourly candle. But so far everything's kind of coming into fruition for at least higher prices. And if you don't have a whole bunch of liquidity to target per se, you're just going to drag from that high that we started at 8 o'clock this morning down to this low. You can break this into quarters. We have 25%, you have 50% of the dealing range, 75, and obviously that's the top of it. But if you're longing down here, then you want to aim for 50, you want to aim for 75, you want to aim for any internal buy-side liquidity. There's not a whole bunch of inefficiencies in here to work with, really none, except this one right there. But you want to work inside of that premium. If you're longing it, the idea is you want to look for that high to be taken, but if you're just being modest, you want to aim for that 50, 75 levels. Jake Wilbert, what's up? Not trading NQ? No, I am not. It's been a while, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I am, thank you. Hope you're doing well. So I'm kind of looking at the time here. We got about a minute till we close, and I'm looking at the 5-minute structure as well. I want to see if we can potentially close above this sell side imbalance. And if we close above the mean threshold of this potentially bearish order block, then I'm really leaning obviously towards higher prices and leaning towards 40.97 to be ran, and that would be the solidification of a bullish breaker. If we get down into this inefficiency here, it could be a potential setup, but since we're still within this 5-minute structure, we're not, to me it's not completely solidified as bullish, so I would have to, that's to me is letting that go. A bullish breaker to me is your clearest indication of a shift in market structure. So if we get above this high here, I could trade it in here long and be predicting that it's going to make that bullish breaker, but I could end up in a loss because I'm trading it prematurely. Never traded gold. What size do you use? It's all the same. I'm trading on FTMO, which is I don't even know what it is anymore because it's not really CFD. Because now they have, it's a simulated contract. All I do is just go on paper trading and just kind of play around with the settings. So we dropped into that inefficiency and we've moved higher. We just have a new hourly candle that opened. And we're about to make the bullish breaker. So I think it's some good evidence here of higher prices. Yeah, I just have moved away from NQ. I'm sure it's going to be a common question over and over again here. It's okay. So we close above the SIBI, that would be inverted, and then we have our bullish breaker here. So that was a really good entry here. Again, it's right at 10 o'clock hour. Not my favorite timing in the world. If it was at a different time, maybe I would have done it. And again, that's not the complete solidification of a bullish breaker. You could have traded before. Again, this was completed, which is okay to do. But now we can take away this because it's no longer a bearish order block. So let's see what that potential, oops, I gotta move this. I want to see if we can expand away from this inversion and the bullish breaker and potentially leave an inefficiency higher. From here, we should be probably willing to expand. We'll see. I will look at NQ for all of you. Yeah, not really much at NQ today. Just kind of whatever. I really wouldn't know what to do on NQ today, to be honest with you. It's a lot going on in here. All I'd say is on NQ, since we've continuously pressed into all-time highs, I would lean towards a bullish bias as far as the underlying narrative. Look at 15-minute on gold here. I'm not playing devil's advocate, but I'm just looking at it as a potential flip side. Is could get up into this premium to sell off, but again, if you're looking at a 1 minute, the bullish breaker is really nice. I think that's going to potentially hold for higher prices, but as of now, there's nothing that I like. I would need that type of reaction is really nice. Some type of reaction that solidifies something. So. Romer, what's up? Yeah, if you never traded NQ, this is or NQ. If you never traded gold, this is how it moves. It is a bit slower, but it does have its moments where it's moving very fast. And there's nothing wrong with slower. Doesn't mean that price isn't doing anything. It's just kind of its feed is a little bit slower. So I'm potentially looking at this inefficiency that's forming here. There is still one that formed that's right there, but Romer, I've been taking a break for a while because I've slowly lost hope, kind of. Have you ever taken a break? Yeah, I've taken a break. Um, I think it's very healthy. I think that should be more normalized. Trust me, man. I get it. Like, um, nobody ever talks about that. You guys all know from me. This shit is soul crushing, um, depressing at times, and it's beyond. You can't really put into words how difficult this journey really is, and I don't think that the charts or the patterns or the concepts are really that difficult to learn. It's I think the saddest part of it all is losing hope in yourself, because if you continuously, you know, overtrade, you over leverage, you go on tilt, you're taking shit setups, and you don't want to, and you're trying your hardest not to. It can be very depressing. So I totally understand it, and I think it's okay to take a break and take a step back. And um, all I'd say is, as far as hope, is you can change, you can do something different. I do like that inefficiency, but I may want to see how we run beneath this. All I'd say is take a break. Don't push yourself to try to be successful in this endeavor. So um, this journey is very, very difficult. It's not easy, man. It's been a tough year for me mentally. Just broke even last month. It's quite a journey. You got to keep going and learning. Yeah, I mean, I can't even put into words how difficult this is. I mean, I mean, as you all know, if you've been here for a long time, as all of you probably know, all of you have, it is extremely, extremely difficult. Um, and I just wouldn't place time on when you're going to reach success. Um, try your absolute hardest, and I know it can be depressing and saddening to try your hardest and still fail, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. But you do have to look for some type of um, silver lining at all, and say, look, I've done this a little bit better. I've gotten a little bit better at this and this, which you all have. Sometimes we cloud our own thinking with it. So I would look for those silver linings and try to keep. As soon as you lose hope, man, that's where everything goes wrong. You have to look for hope. You have to. It's not like hope is this thing that just appears. You have to generate it, and you do that by looking for positive things, looking for a positive future, and encouraging yourself. I mean, it's very much, ICT is what he's always stated, is always encouraging yourself, always being the best cheerleader to yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And if you're against yourself, I mean, who else do you have? I'm not saying it's easy. Trust me, I beat myself up all the time, and I try not to, and I've gotten better at it over the years. I've really tried this year, being alone, is trying to encourage myself more, because I can really be the worst. I can be so nasty to myself, and if you're being extremely negative towards yourself, I mean, you're literally fighting your own self. When you want yourself on your team, you want yourself as an alliance, especially in this. So, you know, you can't be sitting there every day. You have to catch yourself, because it's very easy, especially after missing trades or taking losses. It's very easy to just get into the psyche of just blaming yourself, and it it's you have to cut that self off, especially as you go about in your day. Working a job you hate, doing something you hate every day besides this. When you're not on the charts, even mentally, when you're thinking about trading, what I would suggest is trying to be more present in the moment throughout the day. Especially trading can take away so much joy in your life. It really can. Nobody talks about that. It can take away so much joy. So you have to learn is recognize when you're off the charts, especially if you're thinking about the charts, thinking about, the things you've done. Try to just be more present. Try to just not think about trading. I know it's a harder thing to do than say, but just be more present. Because if you sit there all day and just linger on what you could have done better, why you're stupid, and um, those type of things are what destroy you outside of the charts, and ironically destroy you in the charts is everything that goes on outside of it in your head. So Romer, yeah, I completely understand that mindset. The first time I just started to doubt the consistency of the market, if it's possible long term. I completely understand it. All I can say is I've found consistency, so that's something that you have to find. Like once you find it, and it's not just some luck, and you have to, the most of the time, if you do find consistency and then it fades away and you go into this losing streak and you blow it all off of tilting or events trading, and you're like, oh man, that was all luck. The reason for that is because either it was luck, or two, you never even journaled any of your trades. You never even journaled, oh, this wasn't luck. This was your edge. This is a system. If you want to actually convince yourself, or I wouldn't even say you need convincing, but if you want to see if this is actually true, you need to first go into your edge. What is your edge? Does it have quantifiable results? Meaning, like, if I take a certain setup over a long period of time, over and over and over and over again, can it yield me results? And you have to journal that. And if you can find that, and then you find consistency with that, then those to me are proof that you lean back on. That's your cookie jar that you go back into your memory when you're losing or you're going through drawdown, which is normal because it's not a normal industry. It's not like a job where, a job's funny because you do the X, Y, and Z and you get paid for it, right? You do X, Y, and Z, you get the same result, you accomplish X result. And here you could do X, Y, and Z, the same thing you've done yesterday, but yet you still end up as a loss. That's just trading. And yes, that may not quench your thirst as far as I can't find consistency or believe it's possible, but um, you have to understand that when you're looking at trading through the lens of being consistent, is finding your edge, finding what's quantifiable as far as results over a long period of time, leaning into that, and then journaling that. As far as proof, man, there's plenty of proof of people being consistent. I found more proof than I could even possibly imagine. So I do like the way price is kind of panning out here. We'll see what we can do. We got down into this bullish breaker, bullish order block there. Is there a similar pair to US 100 like yes, but without the 10-minute delay in trading view? Well, that just means you don't have the CME data feed, which is about $4 a month or something. be honest, I was really looking to see if we could get into the CE of that inversion. That's going to probably take it long there. Let's see if we have any sort of retracement back down into it. This takes years and years to learn. If ever, just don't give up and don't worry about how long it'll take. I just thought it would take me 2 to 3 years. Turned out the first 3 years was a complete waste. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this 7 years now. All I'd say is nobody's ever going to tell you how difficult this really is. I mean, I kind of advise that to everybody. Like, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your entire life. So, you know, have a job, have something that is providing stable income to you and your family, and then do this as a passion and something that you're doing obviously wholeheartedly and trying your best to be successful at. But if you don't have something that is paying the bills and keeping the lights on, man, you're gonna just force everything in here. So that's number one. Overall, reviewing the session, I mean, this was the best one. In hindsight, I probably should have taken it. Again, I don't try to go back in time and say, I could have done this, could have done that. That just is what it is. Would I have taken a trade here? If there was an inefficiency that was residing in it, we got down into this bullish breaker, but there was nothing within it. I wanted it to leave that and leave an inefficiency. It didn't really leave much of an inefficiency besides this inversion. So, so far I haven't found something. Maybe if we retrace back down into this inversion here, then I'd be looking for a long away from it into these higher prices there, higher premiums. I haven't clicked anything yet. I'm just kind of see here. I'm going to see if we can get away from this inversion here. In all honesty, I actually may open the stop up, and it may. I just want to get it beneath this breaker here. So I don't know if you can see that on the little window on your screen there. Let's see, maybe you can. But overall, I'd be seeing if we can get up into that high from this morning there. Silver's still moving a little bit higher. Let's see if that wants to lead it or not. The reason I placed it not beneath this low, but beneath the breaker, because that's ultimately, I'd say the parent PDU right there. .10:30, about, I'd say 30 minutes or so left of the session. Doesn't mean it can't extend. I won't take a trade probably after the 11 o'clock hour, but if I'm in a trade, I may let it go. Lucas, hey CJ, hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Good to see you as well too. Good to see you as well. I forgot how to speak. Let's see what NQ's doing in the meantime. Not a whole lot. Is anybody taking anything on NQ? Had any success with NQ today? Doesn't look like there's a whole lot in here. Yes, same thing. Just kind of meh. Overall, it's Monday, no news event drivers, so it's going to be a slower day. Just seeing if gold can provide any higher prices to start the week off with this bullish breaker there. If you're not used to gold, it is very, very slow. So I think I've gained a lot of patience with it. Lucas, you talked a lot about trusting yourself and finally clicked the things you talked about. Took some time to apply them. Awesome to hear that. Yeah, I mean, it's always a learning game. Times I still don't trust myself, and I mean, there's times I question and second guess myself. So I think it's always we're humans. We're gonna make mistakes and do things um, wrong at times, and that's part of the game. Risk management's the only thing that at the end of the day that's really gonna save you. Um, Reducing risk and knowing when to size down, knowing when to size up, things like that. We're starting to really bleed through here. The CE of that breaker here that we're getting into would have to hold. Otherwise, this 15-minute, if you look at it from a different perspective, this could have been a simple retracement into a premium, but I'm holding off on the idea that this wants to potentially just continue higher. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Sometimes you don't have to make a big deal out of losses, man. It's a loss and you move on. Would I have liked the first trade of the stream to be a win? Sure, but I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't mean it's even a loss. We could still end up winning. Vigo, long time no see. Good to see you, brother. I believe I'm probably going to get stopped on this trade, if I had to be honest, but I'm pretty close to it. After that, I'd be done for the day. I've gotten to the point where I'm just at a one trade a day. Anything beyond that, unless I see something really fruitful, and I feel like I'm in the right mindset, then I'll take one more trade. But as y'all know, I'm really at max. I was at 2 trades in a day, but that inefficiency there that we got into is kind of last point of interest. But I'm kind of under the assumption we're probably going to get stopped. So we'll see. This is the last barrier in here, that inefficiency. Overall, if we do head lower, then this was simply a retracement on the 15-minute into that inefficiency right there. And I don't know if we're going to head for the sell side at 40.78. We very well could. Am I going to trade it? Nope. Just gonna move on with the day. TOK, yeah, it should be on that little screen there to your right. It's a little window. Can you guys see that or no? Yeah, maybe you can't see the red lines. I'd have to maybe make it a little bit bigger or something. Very small, yeah. I'll have to look at the video when I go back just to see how it looks. Oh well, it's a pretty boring day, Monday. I'm surprised, honestly, I didn't get stopped with spread. I don't even know if you can see how close I got on that small little screen. I would need a whole bunch of movement to even be confident and not getting stopped, to be honest with you. I mean, this would have to get up above the breaker in that inversion to be confident. Guess if you look at this in its entirety, from that low to that high, we dropped down to do a discount and into that inefficiency. That's the reason why I moved my stop at least beneath the breaker. In all reality, I guess I could have moved it beneath this inefficiency, but it would have been a little bit too much. You have entry patterns, you get into price, but you don't know exactly sometimes how far price is willing to retrace, especially in, I would call this a little bit more high resistance. Overall on gold, we'll see when you look at a daily chart, I just can't foresee, I guess, price moving lower from here. Ultimately, I wanted to see it get up above this new week opening gap and get into that buy side that I annotated the beginning of the session, which is up over right there. But who knows? If this goes back past the 11 o'clock hour, I mean, I'll probably just shut it down and report back on the Telegram, there's not many people even watching, so not to say you guys aren't significant, but I got other things to do. I just hope I get either stopped or price moves in the direction where I can log off of here. This would be pretty cool. It'd be a breaker inside of a breaker. If we got up above this high, which a whole lot of time, a whole lot of movement, but I don't have the best entry in the whole wide world. But that version that we entered off of, or I did, would be utilized for higher prices. You have the 1050 macro, that's say about 6 minutes away or so. You guys see, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but there's some dude, I think Lanto, he made close to 2 million off of a prop from this was that last week? Made it in like 2 days or 3 days. Maybe it's just full account. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of risk that he put in there, but still very cool. I try never to be envious or jealous, but to be inspired by that. NQ, there is nothing going on in NQ today. Yes, made a lower low here. Potential bullish SMT on that, but don't take my word for it. I haven't even looked at it. I'm about to be stopped here. Do you use TPT firm? I have before. It looks like to me gold overall it may literally about to be stopped in 2 seconds, but overall, better look at today. We may want to run for 40.78. That's probably what we're going to want to do. So I'll stop there. How to deal with intraday drilling drawdown? You just got to deal with it. That's why I kind of moved away from them. So that's going to be it for today's video. Again, if I was to be trading gold the rest of the day, I'd probably be looking at 40.78. I'm not going to be trading the rest of the day. It's going to be the one trade for the day. So I'll be back here tomorrow, and that's really it. So good to be back, and see you all tomorrow.